everybody. It's Rafi from ProActive Rehabilitation Wellness. Hope you're doing well. It is a sweltering day in late June here in Augusta, Georgia. But I wanted to talk a little bit about physical fitness and how physical fitness has been, primarily musculoskeletal fitness and strength, has been tied in the literature and correlated really strongly with mortality rates or the lack thereof. So they've done studies over the years, and it seems like there's a very distinct and very clear tie between how physically fit an individual is and either their level of disability, so how much or how little they can end up doing for themselves as they age, and even mortality rates. And not just mortality rates because of, general weakness or deconditioning, but mortality rates associated with basically all other factors, so cardiovascular, lungs, even some kind of cancers. Not saying that being physically strong is going to prevent cancer or something like that, but being physically strong and being physically fit is associated with less disability and decreased mortality rates across the lifespan, especially with this test that I'm going to share with you here, this challenge as I'm calling it, between the ages of 51 and 80. So anybody that's kind of reaching up into those latter stages. One thing that is very interesting is this study was published in 2014-ish, mid-20 teens, 2014, 2015. Can't really remember when. I guess it's probably down here. Oh, it's right here. 2014 it was published. And they did this challenge or this assessment with individuals. They were between the ages of 51 and 80, and then they followed them for a while, kind of tested them and reassessed them as they aged. And what they found was that people that performed well on this test had a lower incidence of falls, ultimately death, but disability and decreased quality of life as they age. And what we know, and we'll actually be doing a course about this here at ProActive, about the risk of falls and how falls are one of the leading causes of mortality in elderly people out there. It's been a while since I've been through one of those courses specifically about falls, but I think the last time I looked at the research, it was if you were above the age of 67 or something like that and you fell and broke your hip, the lifespan, the average life expectancy is something like 6 to 8 months or something like that. So falling is a very, very big deal when we get older. So the researchers or the scientists that kind of conducted this study and put together this test came up with what they called the sit to rise test. We're going to call it the sit to stand challenge or the sit to rise challenge. And it's a very simple 3-part test, takes 3 steps, and you're basically scoring yourself or a loved one if you want to do this on somebody that you got in your household. But you're scoring 2 ways. You're scoring from standing to sitting and then from sitting to standing. And what you're doing is 10 points total. So you get 5 points going down and 5 points going up. Now you subtract a point any time that you or whoever you're testing here has to use their hand or their knee or push up to either stabilize themselves or to help get themselves down or up. And then you take away half a point for any time you lose your balance. So maybe you wobble a little bit or rocking back and forth to kind of rock yourself up from the sitting position. What is interesting about this study in particular is they followed this specific test and then they followed the individuals that they tested with it. And for every 1 point that the subjects of the test or the subjects of the study were able to improve on this test, there was a 21% decrease in the mortality rate from all causes. So again, not just falling and injuring yourself, but it proved out to be very effective with the other common factors that cause death, right? Cardiovascular issues, lung issues, all of that kind of thing. So it just goes to show the importance of being physically fit as we age and the importance of staying active. It's very much one of those use it or lose it type deals. We want to remain active as long as possible so that we're able to age as long as we can, but not so much adding, and I've said this before, we don't want to add years to our life, so to speak, just simply to add years to our life. We want to make sure that we're able to pack a lot of life in those years. It doesn't do you any good to live super long and be bedridden the entire time, right? We want to live actively. We want to be able to do the things we want to do. Maybe you're a grandparent, you want to be able to get down on the ground and crawl around with your grandkids and then get back up and play and do whatever it is, physical fitness is a huge part of that. So I would encourage you, you can download this assessment or this challenge on our website, www.proactivehealth.com, pro-activehealth.com. Just search for Sit to Rise test or Sit to Rise challenge, and you can download it for free and try it on yourself. But I'm going to cut myself out here in a minute and show myself demonstrating this test for you. And then, yeah, good luck. Try it, download it, check it out, test yourself, and see if you can improve on those points. All right. Bringing you the Sit to Stand challenge or the Sit to Rise challenge. So I'm going to read a little bit from it. You can actually get this download on our website, www.pro-activehealth.com. Just look for Sit to Rise or Sit to Stand challenge. But basically, according to the research, physical fitness, muscle fitness, has been really demonstrated to be associated with mortality rates, so i.e. death rates, among individuals and folks that are between the ages of 51 and 80. So a simple test that was come up with by some researchers and scientists that are a lot smarter than me was a simple 3-step test. So I'm going to read the test to you, and then I'm going to do it and show you what it should look like, and then we'll kind of go from there. So the Sit to Rise challenge or the Sit to Rise test is 3 simple steps. First, you stand in a comfortable place. You're supposed to be barefoot, so I'm going to kick my shoes off, even though I'm wearing these minimalist shoes. So comfortable, bare feet, clear space around you, check, 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 check all around. Without leaning on anything, you're supposed to lower yourself down to a seating position on the floor, wait there for a second, and then you're supposed to get back up without touching anything. So not pushing up from your elbow, not rocking back and forth or front and back, not using your hands to push up. And the way you score it, it's a 10-point score. So you get 5 points going down and 5 points going out. You get 1 point subtracted for each time you touch or lean with your hand or your knee or something like that. And then you get 1/2 of a point or 0.5 points subtracted for every time you lose balance. So it's a score of 5 down, 5 up, so 10 points total, and then you're subtracting a point for each time you're leaning or pushing yourself up. So it should look something like this. Put that down there. But I'm standing, crossing my legs, and I'm going to lower myself down to a seated position. I'm not touching anything. And then I'm coming back up. Now I think, according to what just happened there, I probably subtract 1/2 point for leaning forward as I'm getting up. You should be able to just kind of pop up without leaning forward at all. So anyways, that's the challenge. You can download this on our website, try it out for yourself. According to the research, it said there was a 21% decrease in mortality rate from all causes, any causes, with every point that you can improve on this test. So if you start out and you're like, man, I'm at a 5, don't worry about it. 21% increase every point you increase. All right.